You're watching the CBS 58 News at 9 on the end.
CBS 58's Garna Mejia live from where the shooting unfolded near 29th and Wisconsin. Garna.
Bill, back in late August, 19-year-old Jerry Smith was involved in a chase with Milwaukee police that started just a few blocks from here and ended in an alleyway on the roof of a garage.
Through this hole like this, business owners think he's been making holes in the walls to avoid activating the alarm system.
Okay, on nights like tonight with the city's new snow removal parking policy, all cars have to be on this side of the street by 11 o'clock, where a 911 operator from this building is wearing her recently pinned stork wings.
Josie tells me as she was coming around the car to close the passenger door, the suspect took advantage of the moment to jump into the driver's side. According to the criminal complaint, Price came back the day after Christmas and tried to force his way in through this back door once again. The handle, as you can see, was already off.
They located them through that GPS device that was stowed away in the money they took. They say a call from the medical examiner's office is helping to shed light on what may have caused him to drive into this pond. That's a really great question. As we were speaking with Becky from the Boys and Girls Club, she was telling us that they were looking for two key components. The first one was an abandoned mall that they would be able to transform that was in pretty good shape.
To tell us how the thief is getting in. Garna?
Kate, let me show you this hole right here. As you can see, it's been partially covered up, but business owners say it's how the thieves are getting in to avoid setting off the alarm system. The surveillance footage shows a suspect inside this jewelry store and travel agency stealing more than $2,500 worth of perfume early last Tuesday.
They're the expensive ones.
The thief broke in through the back of the store, leaving a trail of debris as he went from room to room. And as if that weren't enough, the business was targeted again just 48 hours later in the same manner.
That's really frustrating.
But this time the suspect wasn't so lucky. Neighbors noticed something was off and called police. They tell me they arrested a 41-year-old man inside the store. Business owners think he's the same man responsible for targeting 4 other businesses since late December.
Same MO, same guy, even with the same jacket, I think, you know, because we can put all the videos that we have, and it's the same guy.
More surveillance footage from a January 13th break-in at another store shows a suspect sliding his way in through an opening he made on the top of the doorway. His face is covered, but business owners say his jacket is similar to the other suspects seen in the footage from the jewelry store. They say they're afraid for their children who regularly come to the business.
Little kids is really worried for this situation. My kids don't want to go to the business.
The district attorney's office says the suspect arrested last week hasn't been formally charged because there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute him. However, they do believe the incidents could be connected and are working with police to confirm that and bring charges. The business owners are planning a meeting next Wednesday with their business improvement district. In Milwaukee's South Side, Garna Mejia, CBS 58.
Family lost their only son that night.
CBS 58's Garna Mejia recently sat down with Steve Berger's parents to talk about their son, his life, and this tragedy.
As his parents put it, Steve was 44 in a day the night he and 57 others lost their lives. Always positive with an infectious smile, his parents say he was a true leader.
You couldn't ask for a better son.
2 months after the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, a collection of newspaper clippings, pictures, and letters lay on Richard and Mary Berger's dining room table.
You read about the people in People magazine, all 58 of them. They're all super people. Just there for a country western.
Steve Berger's parents say they've received an outpouring of support from across the country, like this cloth someone sent them after a vigil in California.
And they wrote the names of the 58 victims, and they hung them on a cross.
Then there are the memories and stories friends have shared about Steve, both here in Wisconsin and Minnesota, where he lived since college and was raising his family.
He had a client who had Alzheimer's disease. And Steve would go out there and help him pay the bills.
It was acts like these that his parents say led to his success at work as a financial advisor.
Never said anything, never bragged. When we cleaned out his office, he had all these plaques.
But it was his kids, whom he was raising as a full-time dad, that were his pride and joy. The Bergers and Steve's older sister are now trying to fill his void in their lives. They're living here in Wisconsin now, and his family continues sharing Steve's love of sports, in particular the Packers and the Badgers.
He was a wonderful dad. He really was. Kids loved him. They turned out just fine.
And while Richard and Mary say they don't have an answer for why Steve's life was cut so short,
we don't know. We never know what would set somebody off.
They take comfort in knowing that he was with his friends, doing what he loved.
He loved life. He loved music. He loved,
that smile on his face, 6'6", love the world.
Steve's parents say they couldn't be prouder of him and the life he lived. His dad went to every one of his college basketball games his senior year and says now they'll be there for their grandchildren. Back to you.
The children's homework asked them to list positive reasons for having slavery, something parents I spoke with today say is offensive to their young and impressionable children. This was a 4th grade assignment given to a class of 9-year-olds at Our Redeemer Lutheran School in Wauwatosa. List 3 bad reasons for slavery and 3 good ones.
He put, I feel there is no good reason for slavery. That is why I did not write.
Tramika Brownberry's son Jerome is in the 4th grade class.
I thought that it was highly offensive, very insensitive, and degrading to my 9-year-old African-American son.
She reached out to school administrators expressing her concern.
The simple fact that they were talking about slavery, I applauded him for that. It was the fact that she tried to have my son list 3 good reasons for slavery. There is no good reason for slavery.
School officials declined an on-camera interview, but they provided us with a statement that was also sent home with students today. In it, school officials apologized, saying they, quote, understand the words used showed a lack of sensitivity and were offensive. The purpose of the assignment was not to have students argue that any slavery is acceptable. This particular assignment is no longer a part of our curriculum.
I know what they meant, like what did the people at that time think was good about it, or what did the people at that time think was bad about it, but they didn't say that.
Jessica Smith's daughter is also in the class.
And my daughter being mixed, it's, I don't want her to think that any of slavery was a good reason.
I still feel like it's a bad assignment.
Both parents say they've never had an issue like this at the school. They say they're happy with the way administrators are handling the matter, including their request to have additional training for teachers.
To face with the man, she joins us now live. Garna?
Kate, this BP gas station on Mequon and Wauwatosa roads is usually open until 10 o'clock, but in light of last night's incident, staff say they're still pretty shaken up and deciding to start closing an hour early from here on out.
Guy came up behind him and went, give me the drawer.
Last night around 9:35 p.m., Mequon police say this man, believed to be 27-year-old Raymond Allen Hartel, walked into this BP gas station, approached the clerk who was cleaning up the coffee area, and demanded the cash drawer.
He kind of gave him a stunned look, and the guy asked again and brandished a gun and kind of knew it was serious at that point. He came over and opened the drawer and gave him the whole drawer.
Surveillance footage caught the man walking into the store before he covered his face.
The guy had a mask on, hoodie pulled low.
Mequon police believe Hartel has been involved in a string of robberies in the Milwaukee area.
He brings a firearm and points it at clerks in both of our armed robberies, so yes, I think he's very dangerous.
It's kind of the same group that have been hitting a lot of places, and they're pretty aggressive, so I guess kind of lucky.
Police say Hartel was also involved in another robbery at this Clark gas station on November 17th.
He went to the next gas station with the same jacket and everything.
Police believe Hartel has been driving a black 2016 Chevy Sonic and using a license plate that doesn't belong to the car.
I didn't sleep very good. That makes it even longer, right? If somebody knows this person, they need to come forward.
Again, anyone with information on the whereabouts of 27-year-old Raymond Allen Hartel is asked to contact the Mequon Police Department. That number is 262-242-3500. Live in Mequon, Garna Mejia, CBS 58.